Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Do Epic Shit Today podcast. I am Hannah, and I am here today with the amazing Alex. Hello, Alex. Hello. So, Alex is a retired collegiate athlete, runner, a former multimedia journalist turned certified running coach. We're going to tap into all of this. And then I also put in my notes here, just overall badass human. So just of all the realms of badassery, you will find Alex's name with throughout. So welcome, Alex. So we were chatting before I hit record, and what did you do today for your training on this fine Monday?
Yeah, I got up and I did a lower body lift, and then I did a swim and a run.
Okay. All right, you heard it here, people. Holy crap. I've gone for a walk. Today's my rest day, so I'm living vicariously through you on all this movement. So one of the things you talk about on your social media account is that you help folks who are wanting to get into the running world run faster, they're stronger, and they're healthier. You're a CPT, a nutritionist, and a running coach. Did I get all that right?
Yeah, I'm also an online coach and certified nutritionist as well. Did you say strength and conditioning? I can't
I
remember.
didn't, but yes.
Yeah,
Did
strength
I
and
miss
conditioning
one?
is on there as well. With running, I'm also like USA track and field level 1 coaching certified too, so there's that. But yeah, just a bunch of certifications.
Yeah. So basically a Swiss Army knife there's that badassery word coming back again. I tell you what, woman. Holy crap, that's amazing. Well, congrats on that. That probably took a lot of work.
A lot of
Yeah.
it was just like online, and if you want to be a coach and like if you have a history with those things, it makes it a lot easier. So
Yeah, I bet. I bet. All right. Well, let's jump in because you're a collegiate athlete. And anytime track and field collegiate athlete, what was your specialty? Did you
the 800.
800? Okay. And so anytime, I don't know if you feel this way too, anytime I meet another collegiate athlete, like D1, D2, D3, whatever aside, there's like this kind of like, ooh, I already kind of get a sense of who you are because I know the shit you have to have had to have gone through to be a collegiate athlete. Talk to me a little bit about what that experience was for you. Because I also saw that you didn't start running until your senior year of high school.
Yeah. So my story actually starts in a different sport. I grew up
Oh,
playing soccer, and I lived in Taiwan for a few years, and I got to play with like the boys because they didn't have like a girls' league. It was just like
nice.
mixed. So when we moved back, that's when we kind of learned about travel soccer, and that was when I was in middle school. So I made from rec, I made the like bottom travel team, and then the next year, I moved up 2 teams, and then the year after that, I was on the top team, and then I tore my ACL for the first time. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so that was freshman year. Sophomore year, another tear.
Just
Junior
high school?
year, yes. Junior year, my third one. And they were all contact tears. People just had it out for me.
Jeez.
But the reason why I was a really good soccer player was because I was fast and I could run forever. So my teammates always hated me for conditioning because that was my favorite part of practice. Just make me run for as long as possible. I love it. But with that, my junior year, when I was getting back into shape for the soccer season, I did cross country. And so as a junior, I think around 6 months out from surgery, I ran a 1957 in my first ever cross country 5K, first ever 5K race at Lake Med. So that's like the NC State home course. After that, I like got really bad shin splints. And so not much of a season after that. But I really enjoyed it. So after my third surgery, I just kind of decided that all of the offer, like the college scholarship offers, none of it was worth possibly getting a fourth surgery. So I, told all the coaches, like, I got injured again. I just had surgery. So I'm not going to play anymore. And it was actually funny. There was like a couple coaches that were like begging me, like, you gotta play. Like, you're our number one recruit in the class. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And they're like, if you change your mind, give us a call. You have a spot on the team. And I was like, will do, but I am not changing my mind. I'm not doing this again. So going into senior year, my last surgery was April 21st of 2017, I'm pretty sure. And then I just did cross country, indoor track, and outdoor track. And I ran a fast enough time in the 800 to walk on at NC State. So I was all conference for cross country and for track, and then I placed second at regionals, qualifying me for states, and at states I came sixth. And that was like my first like big race. So that was an interesting experience. I totally felt like I could have run faster, but it happens. I was able to walk on at NC State at the time, and I was pretty much injured the entire time. It
Oh
was
shit.
not a fun experience. It sucked. I was just hurt all the time. I did two races, and they were two of the slowest 800s that I had ever done, even including high school. Like, during a workout, I split way faster than what I ran in those races. So they were so bad that I remember, like, I crossed the finish line, and I walked off the track just laughing because I was like, that was such a joke. Because I was in so much pain. I could barely walk. I just wanted to race so bad that I was like, it doesn't hurt that bad. And of course, that just set me back even further. And since I was a walk on, I didn't have any scholarship money. So I had to work. And my coaches knew this. They knew that I had to work, and because everything was just so crazy with COVID, it just kind of came to be like, you can either work or you can be a student athlete. And obviously that was a really hard conversation to have with my coaches, but at the end of the day, like, I needed somewhere to live. Like, I needed to be able to pay for my bills. And that was honestly a huge blessing in disguise. Like, at the time, it was really hard because being a college athlete was a dream of mine since I was little. And with everything that I went through in high school with my knee surgeries, I didn't think I was going to get that opportunity, but I still did. So to feel like I gave up on that was really hard. But it was, like I said, it was a blessing in disguise. I was able to start training on my own. I figured out that part of the reason why I was constantly hurt was because the strength training that we were doing as a team was not where I needed to be. I needed to, and I still do, I need to maintain a much higher level of strength compared to, somebody who hasn't had three knee surgeries to be
Right.
able to do basic things like walk and run without having pain. I always know I'm slacking on my strength training when my knees start to hurt. So my body just instantly tells me, like, you need to go do your hip extensions, your clamshells, your leg lifts, like all that stuff. After leaving the team, I took a little bit of time off and really started focusing on strength training and getting really strong. And I decided I wanted to run a half marathon. And there was a half marathon in March of my senior year. So that was March of 2022. And so I'm training, it's going great. And then at the beginning of December, I got hit by a car when I was on a long run.
Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
So I had to take an entire month off. So obviously, that goes and sets me back. But, end of December, beginning of January, when I'm like fully cleared and not hurting, I get back on it with like running and all my strength training. And in 2.5 months, I was able to get fit enough to run a 123 half marathon. And that was the first time I had ever run over 12 miles before too, like
Holy
during that race. So
shit.
that was really cool.
That's huge.
Yeah. College, I was hurt all the time. It was not fun. Being hurt sucks. But then that, led to me being like, oh, I want to run a half marathon. So why not? And, did that.
I think it speaks to you as well as a human if like you've gone through 3 ACL surgeries, even your first ACL, you're like, okay, we're going back into soccer. Second one, okay, we're gonna go back into soccer. Third one, okay, this like that says a lot about you as a character to like you talk about like overcoming adversity. Like I know you hear that all the time everywhere, but holy shit. 3 ACL surgeries and then good lord, and especially in high school. My gosh. Do you
Yeah.
think like looking back now, knowing what you do you think those ACLs were they just purely contact or is it lack of like strength maybe? Like I know in women they're more prone to
They were
ACLs.
all contact tears.
Oh,
So my first one, I had actually played on a partially torn ACL for about 2 years, so I
oh,
have cartilage damage. So the first one, it was during a middle school soccer game, and a girl had kicked my knee in, so it hyperextended, and that hyperextension was so drastic that it like partially tore, and then we didn't really know about it. And then fast forward to freshman year, I was in a game and then my knee just kind of just gave out. And then the second one was during a high school game. I had the ball and I was dribbling and I was planting and she had stepped on the outside of my knee and it like caved inwards.
oh.
Yeah. So I knew immediately, I was like,
Oh
that
shit.
sucks. And then the last one, this one really sucked because the girl that tore my ACL, like I knew her, but that's why she knew to mark me during a corner kick. And, gone up to like head it in. I came down and as I'm planting, she runs straight through the back of my knee. So my knee kind of goes like this. And
Oh
that one was like
god.
a partial tear too. But unfortunately with ACLs, because there's not like a blood supply that goes to that area, they can't like heal themselves. So even if it's a partial tear versus a full tear, you still have to get a replacement.
Ooh. Yeah, ACL, like those acronyms, if you hear that in the sporting world, like you kind of say a little prayer. Like those
Yeah.
injuries, that's why when you're like, I had 3, I'm like, Jesus, criminally, yeah, talk about
Yeah.
relentless. Good Lord. But like I was saying, that speaks dividends to your character to just like keep coming back. Holy moly. And also to the Division 1, like, or not, just the collegiate athlete in whole, in general, I don't think it's this Cinderella story for everyone because I also I wasn't injured, I wasn't a walk on, but the mental, like I was mentally broken throughout the entire time. So I think like the epitome of like this, you get recruited and it's beautiful, like it's amazing these 4 years. And that's true, there are parts that are amazing, but it's not like that for everyone. It's a struggle.
That was a big thing for me just because it is hard to be a student athlete. Even whether you're on the bench or you're the star player or you're hurt all the time. Like there are things that are mentally challenging in all of those aspects.
I always am fascinated with other people that played Division 1 sports, walk on, star player, whoever. If you touched a toe or just sports in college, it's a different level of pressure because it's not just academics, it's athletic and it's performance. And there are some things that are out of your control when you're at that age that play a part into how you do in college. And so I always, anytime I meet someone who played sports in college, I always have a little bit of like a we have a bond.
Yeah.
We don't see it, but there's a bond there. So was that your, that discussion of recognizing like I got to pay for my bills, running isn't going to be the option for me for it's North Carolina State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to be an option. So we're going to transition to working and then you finding kind of like your own groove of running. What was that transition period like? Like what did that look like for you?
So this conversation had happened, it was at the beginning of spring semester my junior year. So after my sophomore year, I had changed my major. So I went into college as a human bio major. I wanted to be a PA. Chemistry told me otherwise. Um, Everything
Yeah.
else I was really great at, but chemistry was it just didn't click. So after sophomore year, I had changed my major to communication with a concentration in media studies. So with that, I wanted to become a journalist. My goal at the end of the day was to be a sports reporter. So junior year, coming into that spring semester after, having that difficult conversations with my coaches and coming to the decision that I would not continue being on the team and I would, go work. Like I said, that conversation was difficult, but then I was able to do internships. And if you want to be a journalist, you need to do an internship to like be able to get into a position to be hired as like a multimedia journalist or a reporter, anchor, anything like that. Like there are stepping stones for broadcast journalism, and it starts as an intern. So all the time that I had spent at practice, I put that into working. So I was working like 40 to 55 hours a week because I just had a bunch of part-time jobs and internships. I think at one point I had 12 total part-time jobs. So it was difficult at times because working that much while also being a full-time student and then also finding time to train on top of that. It was It was an experience.
That's
I
gnarly.
learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah. What interested you in being, because for those who don't know what a multimedia journalist is, what is a multimedia journalist?
It's it's a reporter, but you do all of your stuff. So with
Oh,
reporters typically have what's called a photographer, and they'll like put them live and they'll film all the things. But with a multimedia journalist, you're responsible for finding your stories, setting up interviews, doing the interviews, writing the scripts, editing the story together, doing the voiceovers, going live on your own, like being able to set that up. So it's a reporter, but you do all the things.
okay, gotcha. So were you basically just kind of transferred from athlete to intern, multimedia journalist, and then to run coach? Because I think this is super cool. And I chatted with you before I hit record. Like, I really want to talk with you about the transition of like starting your own company, becoming a run coach, and when you realized that was your path. So how did you set about going to kind of pivot to that direction?
Yeah. So if you know anything about being a reporter starting out in broadcast journalism, they don't make anything. Like
Okay.
it's it's hard out there when you first start out. Even
Mm-hmm.
after being in the business for like 5, 10 years, some people do not make nearly enough. So I was looking for opportunities to um make an extra buck here or there sort of thing. And that's kind of when I think my very first private client, I was doing a bridge workout. So hills. I live out on the coast, and the only hill is the bridges that go from the mainland to the island. So
Okay.
I was doing a hill workout, and a lady had stopped me and said that her daughter was wanting to do a half marathon and was asking if I coached. And I was like, sure, I'll coach. So I took that opportunity and just like ran with it. And I had a lot of fun coaching her. She came to me. Her 5K time was around 30, 31 minutes, and she was like, I want to run sub 2 hours in the half marathon. So uh, with running 30 to 31 minutes. 5K is around 10-minute pace. To go under 2 hours, it's like just under 9-minute pace, I think.
Yeah.
And she ended up running a 147. So she averaged like 8:17 pace or something like
Oh,
that.
she cooked
Yeah.
it.
And I worked with her, I think, for about 4 months, and we were able to like drop that much. So that was really cool. And it was really encouraging. I was like, I'm pretty good at this. Like, I mean, I know it's just one person. It's my first time coaching somebody, but like,
Damn.
That's pretty awesome. So, my next kind of thing that I did was I just went to the local high school and I was like, hey, do you guys need any help with the cross country or track team? And the coach was like, yes, we need help so bad. So I went from volunteer coach to assistant coach to the head coach of the cross country and track program all within a year. And this is all at the age of 23 too. So I'm pretty sure I was like the youngest like head coach in North Carolina, like for the public high schools. I'm pretty sure I was like youngest head coach. But yeah, so
I
that's
mean,
how.
just to quickly interject, like I want to take this little chunk and just highlight the shit out of it because you were in a tough spot financially, found something you really liked. You took it upon yourself to go and tell someone and ask them, do you need help? Like that to me is like such an amazing thing of recognizing I don't like the environment of what I'm doing right now or what I'm doing right now. I'm going to go ask if they need help. Like you went out and found what you were passionate about. You found your next step. So I just wanted to call that out. But please continue. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. So that was for the 23-24 season. So that was last school year.
Okay.
And so in July of 2023, that's when I met my now husband, and that's when in August, like we started dating and very quickly moved in together. So I had gained a couple like clients like here and there. I was making enough that I needed to report it to the IRS. So I'll do like an LLC. So I have like an official business. So I did that at the beginning of last year. And then my husband, he encouraged me to post on social media. He's like, you literally do this for a living. Like, you make content for a living, like, as a journalist. Like, why don't you post on your social media? So I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing. Like, what if it doesn't do well? And I'm totally cringe. All the videos I make are really bad. So I'm like going through all of that in my mind. And, I was like, screw it. I'm just going to post stuff. And like, the first couple months of videos that I was posting were rough. So I've archived most of those. So they're not on my profile because they are so embarrassing. But that's social media, right? So I was like, how can I use my page to help people? And that's when I started like going back. I struggled with shin splints in high school and then in college. And my dad helped, he's a physical therapist. Like he helped me come up with a warm up routine of like exercises to do before I run. And now shin splints, knock on wood, don't bother me anymore. So I made a post, warm up exercises to run fast without shin splints. And I got over 13 million views on that. And
Holy shit.
I think I gained almost 20,000 followers just from that one post. And I was like, wow, people really need this. Like, people need to know how to not be injured. And I am the queen of being injured and coming back from injury. So let me share my knowledge. I very quickly gained a following, so when I was getting DMs all the time like, hey, do you coach and stuff? And I was like, yeah, I do. So I got like more clients and stuff like that. But backtrack in my story of how I got to coaching full time. My contract was up at the end of May, and I was having a conversation with my husband and was like, do I renew it? Do I stay and like keep reporting and then also do this like on the side? And he was just like, I'll just go for it. And so I did not renew my contract and I took social media full time. I get like more clients and stuff like that. So like I'm able as a coach, as a full-time coach and content creator, I now make more than what I made as a full-time journalist. And yeah, I've been able to work with like a lot of amazing brands that I, grew up loving, and I get to help so many people, which at the end of the day, like that's my goal. Like I want to help
Mm-hmm.
people reach their goals. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of how I went from journalist to full-time running coach because my husband He encouraged me to.
Yeah.
Without him, I would never have started posting on social media. I wouldn't have taken my coaching full time. He is why. He's why.
Okay. We love him. I've never met him, but great job, dude, if you're listening. But so, I mean, looking back after that whole journey to now, what would you tell yourself, like 17-year-old Alex, knowing what you know about yourself, what your passions lie? What would you tell like 17, 18-year-old you when you're about to go into North Carolina for track?
So another thing too about me is that I have been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and PTSD. So that wasn't
Okay.
diagnosed until I got into college, but I definitely struggled with it in high school and even in middle school. Like once I got the diagnosis and I was talking with my family, they're like, "Oh, that makes sense." But one of the best pieces of advice that I had ever gotten, it was from my dad, especially when I was really struggling with my anxiety and depression in high school, was to take it one day at a time.
Mm.
Life throws a lot of things at you, and that's what makes it worth it. Getting through that and being able to look back and say, I did that, I got through that, I came out on top. So just remembering to take it one day at a time. Because, I thought when I was done with my ACL stuff, I thought that was it. I was like, this is the hardest thing that anybody could ever go through. So I should be good. Like there shouldn't be any more bad things. Man, I was wrong. College was, a whole thing in itself. And to go through not just being injured the entire time during my time as a college athlete, but trying to figure out supporting myself and just remembering to take it one day at a time, and things will work out. Like everything, I firmly believe, like everything works out. Like in the end, things will work out the way that they need to, and everything will be okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you pictured even if you would have gone to North Carolina and been this like superstar athlete, do you think you would have had the love and desire to like be the best version as a run coach as you are? Like things that happened in your previous years kind of pivoted to the decisions you make today. I mean, I always think about it too, like when I think about back to like my college days, like I burnt out so quickly my senior year that I never want to touch a basketball again. I never wanted to and I still probably touched baby basketball. And I literally say touch. I don't even mean bounce, play, touch. A basketball maybe 4 times. I'm 29. I graduated 7 years ago. So but it's taught me so much who I am today. And so I do like that advice of just take it one day at a time. But do you think you'd be a run coach if you were, the runner? Like, do you think that would have happened?
I I don't know. I think so. I feel like this is kind of my calling is to
Hmm.
be a coach. I remember in middle school, I was really really good at math. Like math was always my favorite subject. When I got to college and I was doing calculus, like I loved it. It was my favorite. I remember in 7th grade, we had this math teacher that I was really the only one that like understood how she was teaching. Everybody else was kind of struggling with the way that she was explaining things. So during lunch, I would like tutor everybody and like explain to them and like help them learn. Even when I was like playing soccer, I was always the loudest person. Like if you can't hear me, your
Get
ears
your
are
ears checked.
broken. Like, yeah, get your ears checked. I think with my personality and who I am as a person, like loving to help people,
Mhm.
I feel like at some point I would have fallen into coaching.
Well, we chatted about this a little bit before I hit record about being in the running space, naturally kind of training yourself to get back on track in regards to being healthy and fit and pushing your goals, to you now having a year of racing in 2025 where you're doing triathlons, marathon. Like, what are all of the things that you're now doing sport wise And how did you like, how did that bleed over to like, oh, I run, but like that Ironman looks kind of fun? Or like, how did that go?
Yeah, so my husband actually bought me a bike for my birthday last year, and that's kind of
Mm.
how I got into riding. And I did my very first triathlon in June of last year, and that qualified me for nationals. Nationals was my second ever triathlon, and then nationals ended up qualifying me for the world championships, which is in October of this year. And then with that, I was like, I want to do 70.3. I want to do a half Ironman. So I signed up for it. I was not prepared.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the most like trying 5.5 hours that I have ever been through. It was amazing though. When I finished, the last like quarter mile of the run, when I realized that I was going to finish this race, I burst into tears and I just
Oh,
cried. The last quarter mile, crying, finish line, cried even harder. So that was definitely an experience.
I love how you were just like, yeah, why not? Why would I not go and try and do this? And it may be difficult. And obviously you like it because you have, what races do you have now? Like, you have some scheduled for this year?
Yeah, so I'm doing my first marathon next month. And then I have a sprint triathlon at the beginning of March. And then in April, I have my first Olympic distance triathlon. And then May, I will be doing a 70.3. It's not like an Ironman 70.3. It's just like a 70.3 distance triathlon race. And then that's May. And then June, what's really cool is in Raleigh, they have these like free pop-up mile races every Tuesday in June. So I'm going to do those to try to PR in my mile. In July, I'm planning to do the main 70.3. And then July, August is nationals. So I'm going to do the Olympic and the sprint at nationals. September, I don't think I have anything on the schedule for September. And then October, the end of October is the draft legal sprint world championships in Australia that I'll be going to.
So, heavy year.
Yes.
So, with like a stacked calendar like that, what do you think? It's going to be kind of philosophical here. So, here, bear with me. What do you think is like the driver for you? Like, what is pushing you to do all these races? What is pushing you to do all of this?
I'm so glad you asked. I'm going to try to make it to the Olympics in 2028 for the triathlon. That's my goal. So that's why I'm doing all of this
Oh
racing
my
is to
gosh.
try and qualify for the Olympics in 2028.
And to be in LA.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like meant to be. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's so crazy. Like in the best way possible. Oh, hell yeah. You have my support.
Thank you.
100%. 100% tenfold. Holy shit. Oh, heck yeah. I love that. I love that.
And like the other thing too is I'm in the process of trying to get my citizenship for the Philippines because I want to represent
Oh,
the
okay.
Philippines in the 2028 Olympics. Because so I'm half
Okay.
Filipino and half American. My mom is in the process of like getting her citizenship. So like once she gets that, then I should be able to get mine. But we have 3 years to figure it out.
Oh my gosh. Do you think you'll work with like a trainer or have you thought that far? Or is it just more out of like, we're going to see how
Yeah,
this year
so
goes?
I'm working with the coach right now. Yeah, so it's always really funny when people are like, "You're coach, but you have a coach?" I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm a running coach." So yeah,
Well, I
I have a
mean,
coach.
I feel like being a coach and being an Olympic coach in a sport that like the triathlon, like because triathlon is a beast because it's not just running. It's three different sports. There's transition. There's like an amazing. There's a lot of room to specialize in, which makes it so unique.
I knew with my goal of making it to the Olympics in 2028, I needed a coach. So when I was made that realization, I was like, I need to reach out to all these coaches and talk to them. So like I was interviewing every coach. popped up. I was like, can we schedule an interview? Like, I would love to talk to you. And the reason why I went with my coach was because he was so honest with me. He was like, I think you can do it. You're probably going to go through a bunch of different coaches because like, I'm a beginner level coach. Like, I'm probably not going to be with you like all the way through, but like I can at least get you started. So I loved his honesty, and I was basically looking for a coach that was like me, like who followed my philosophies as a coach. That's what I was looking for. Because another reason why I kind of decided to take on private coaching was because I have just heard time after time after time that a lot of these online coaches are transactional, that they will not answer your text, your calls until it is time for you to pay for your next program. That is not cool at all. All of my clients, like, you send me a message, I will more than likely respond within like 30 seconds. You need me, text me. You need me to like talk on the phone, like let's talk on the phone. You have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, like you let me know. We're going to figure this out. And like that's what I was looking for in a coach as well.
Well, I'm glad you're able to find someone who like kind of matches your rhythm as a coach too.
Yes.
Like that's going to be very, very insightful and helpful, especially when it's because you talked about you already are training full time. So then you're going to be adding this additional layer of sprinkles and probably some more sprinkles and just like fudge to the sundae of life. So that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to lead us into rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is your favorite go-to snack after a long run?
After a long run, steak and eggs.
Hearty. I like it. Okay. Favorite place you've traveled to?
In the Philippines, Cebu. The beaches there are beautiful.
Okay. I'm going to throw another question. What is your go-to running shoe?
That's a hard question, okay? When I was injured, I could only wear like one specific shoe. It had to be the same colorway, like exact same shoe. Like I could not wear anything different. Like a different color would give me shin splints. But I've gotten to a point in my strength training where I'm now strong enough that I can wear whatever shoe I want to wear, right?
Okay.
So that's a hard question because I love all running shoes. But I'm running in the Mizuno Neo Vista and the Mizuno Neo Zen. I'm running in those two right now. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any pets?
Yes. I have, hold on, let me see. Pico. Come here. Pico, say hi. Say hi, Bubba.
Hi.
Say hello.
Totally confused.
Oh, okay. So this is Pico. He's my baby. And then I have another dog. His name is Tandy. I wonder if he'll come up here. Tandy. He's coming. Let's see. Tandy. Tandy is 7 years old. He's a black lab Great Dane mix. And then this is Pico. He's almost 2 years old. He is a Rottweiler, as you can see. The door's been closed, so he hasn't seen me in like an hour. So he's very excited to see me. It's like he hasn't seen me in 10 years. So yes, I have 2 pets.
That's awesome. I love how what was your other dog's name?
Tandy.
Tandy, playing hard to get.
Yes. Yeah.
Playing hard to get. Okay. All right. Last question. What are 3 things that you're grateful for?
My family, my health, and my ability to be able to be a content creator and coach full time.
Those were perfect. Well, that's it. That's the podcast. You crushed it.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun.
Of course. Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad. Okay, I'm going to hit stop recording here.